Yo, 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 what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Nick the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessings. I'm gonna give y'all some time to tune in case these notifications ain't go out. For those who was expecting the afternoon cipher, apologies for the time change. I had a few things I was trying to take care of. And when things are that important, you got to take care of it before anything. So, like I said, if you don't get that morning or that afternoon safe, you know you're gonna get that evening safe. But first things first, hopefully everybody having a blessed and productive Thursday. Hopefully everybody was smoothly able to get through their work day. For those who got kids back in school, hopefully your kids was able to get those smooth, safe school day. Whatever issues you might have or whatever plans you might have, just make sure you jump up in front of it before anything. And if you do got plans this weekend, again, keep yourself visual, keep yourself, preserved. And more and all, again, just enjoy the blessings for those celebrating birthdays this week as well. Appreciate everybody that tuned in for the conversation yesterday. Definitely was a great build in the conversation. And if you missed it, catch the replay definitely. Cool gamer, what's going on? What's going on? Conversations like that are going to continuously happen because as long as we do have certain issues going on, it's stuff that we can't avoid. Know? Like a lot of distractions are being put in front of us, and we see this already. Anita, baby, we got a lot of distractions going on. Like right now, some of the politics that we seeing, especially with the political views, is definitely a distraction. But nonetheless, you're supposed to focus on the main things at hand. There's some of y'all who need to really start paying attention when it comes to the political point of these elections, because again, you know, it's going to be a long, drawn battle until November. Um, and honestly, you know, I feel the people should be making the right moves and the right decisions when it comes down to who they are picking, you know, and not so much as just for that president seat, but council seats and all of that. I'm a firm believer in trying to put in the people who are actually going to do for the people. No doubt, Anita. Let's try to take your time, baby. Appreciate you for tuning in anyway. Um, again, I'm a firm believer in that. You put the right people in place. You can't just go with a familiar name or go with somebody just because they might have done one or two good little things. Now, you got to really do your homework and you really got to look at the resume at hand, you know. And again, there are people who don't have, I'm going to say they don't have some of the political ties like some of these other ones, but yet still they are for the people. So those are the ones you need to look at, the ones who are really for the people, the ones who really are trying to bring back some form of, peaceful ground when it comes to our communities. And this is what we don't do. We don't do our thorough research. We figure it doesn't matter. Our votes ain't counted. Our votes don't be heard and everything else. But to be quite honest, there's certain situations where your voices will be heard if the numbers are right. Again, if you all are fighting on the same accord, it'll work. Serious, baby. Miss Chicago, baby. James, what's going on? What's going on? Again, don't get caught up in all the distractions going on right now because right now we got a real task to worry about. Um, and again, when it's all said and done, they are supposed to be doing the necessary work and taking the necessary steps for the people. And that's why I said this is important for a lot of y'all to really try to get out there and again make your voice heard. You know, and that's on all levels, big or small, even down to your community politics. Get involved. You know, like I was saying the other day, some people cry and mope about some of the things that are going on in their communities, but again, the people are not stepping up. It should be a big number when it comes to How we gonna bring, how we gonna bring back opportunities to the community for those who need it. How we gonna flourish from that. It's a lot to think about. And again, when it's all said and done, don't think that your voice is not important because that's far from the truth. See, that's how they try to deter people a lot of times, at least from my view and opinion. They'll tell you that your votes don't count or that your voices ain't being heard, but you won't know that for sure until you put in the work or until you do the actual footwork. Like in certain situations, there were votes that needed to be done as far as politics was concerned, right? But when you had the right people standing up and coming in strengths and numbers and actually voicing their views and opinions on what's going on and what's needed, they did get some things done. Like I told y'all a while back, some people was able to get some things done for their school district, things that it was going to take forever to get done. But no, they had a careful business execution when it came to it. Like prime example, our schools needed, not so much as metal detectors, our schools needed new computers, um, more books for the library, et cetera, et cetera. No, those people made it work because they stood together. They realized what the important goal was. The important goal was education, and if the kids are lacking education in the schools, then guess what? That's a problem. But if they also lack in education within the home, it's also a problem, you know. But they got the things that were needed, These kids got new computers, you know. And again, just form an execution plan on how you want to move things. I think that's going to be the strongest thing for the people for real is just coming together when you're supposed to. Not because not because you feel you forced to come together. No, come together before it becomes that issue. Because to be honest with you, again, it's not much that separates us. When it's all said and done, we have to be the voices of reason, especially for the young ones in the community. Like prime example, there's certain complexes within the five boroughs. Some of them are having a quote unquote family day. Now, for some who might not be familiar with Family Day, that's the day that they pick for them buildings, that all the families within the building in that community come together and cooking out, having ball games and all of that. The goal in that notion is to bring all the families together and unite. In certain instances it works. Some instances it hasn't been what it used to be. Like my building, prime example, the last two quote unquote family days, you might as well say they wasn't even considered in my book. Because for nobody to come out but only three people, that means, things weren't done the way they were supposed to be done. Like prime example, last year, they didn't post up what they were supposed to post up for the people. They waited towards last minute to put something in and say, oh, this day is this day for Mountain Girl, baby, Sassy, baby. Appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. Appreciate y'all. See, like last year, the problem was they didn't put up no notice or anything until near last minute. And at that point, people had already had other plans. Some people had barbecues they was going to. Some were going to concert performances, so on and so forth. So when you're not doing your job as you're supposed to, especially when you are a quote unquote tenant association president, that's a problem. So last year it was trash. The year before that, um, it was extra trash. Why? Because again, you had a basketball court closed off, and you almost had the park closed off. So again, how was the people going to come together for a family day when you didn't do these things the right way? Even in that notion right there, you're supposed to stand up and let your voice be heard. Like if you know there's things that need to be done, get it done. Like these quote unquote tenant association presidents for these buildings, right? Half of them complexes, half of the presidents actually made sure they did what they were supposed to do. There was one lady that used to, may she rest in peace. This was one lady I could say when she was in charge of everything, including the tenant association. She really fought tooth and nail for the building that she represents. If there was things that needed to be done, even when it came down to the ground maintenance people of the building, she was on them as she's supposed to be. You know, when you're a president for a building, you got to make sure everything is up to par. You know, especially some of y'all getting these grants, getting these loans, and everything else. So yeah, she did what she was supposed to do. You know, now that lady, I could say even it ain't been not one family day when that lady was president that none of us didn't have what we were supposed to have. We wasn't lacking nothing. Our basketball courts was open; they would be clean. Parks was open and clean. And even when there were certain things going on, she made sure, no, this is not going to be over here in this area because the people come out here to come do this, the people coming out here to do that. Like she was really vocal about what needed to be done. And that's what a lot of these people need to do for real. Start being more vocal on what you need done. You know, and I feel that would be a better look for the people in those communities, right? Now, for the ones who have them shady, shifty presidents, again, your vote does count. If you feel there's somebody in your building, prime example, that would fit the mold of, becoming the next tenant association president, try to get them or try to encourage them to rock the vote. I had a few people telling me last year, well, why you don't try to go for tenant association president? That's because I know what's required. And with my work schedule, it wouldn't work, you know? It would be my luck. I'm supposed to be getting up to go to Albany to meet some people, and I'm just coming home from work and going to sleep. So, you know, that's more for people, in my opinion, who, if they're not working, people within the community. You know, but in the same token, you gotta let it be known what you need and what you want. You know, and that's what a lot of them are supposed to do. You know, they are supposed to be quote unquote fighting for the people, fighting for the residents. Of that complex. Like if I was a building president, prime example, if I see that there's certain things that need to be done, like prime example, the playgrounds need to be, retouched up or whatever, I would make that a prime target. Or I know we got fixtures in the building that need to be really fixed and looked at. I'm gonna make sure those people are coming to do what they are supposed to be doing, their jobs. And that's really just standing up for everybody within that section right there. You know, and there's some of y'all who got corrupt, tenant association president, and I would say for those in those situations, it is time to combat that. If you think you got a shot at being it, or if you think you got somebody who's gonna fit the notion for the people, then hey, you sit there and you put them right in front. Look, we selecting this one to run against whoever. You know, you got to make sure that if you are going to run for these positions, that you know what you're getting into, and your goal does not get distracted from anything. Like if your goal is to put, better things in your buildings for the people, or prime example, there was some who were getting loans and grants, and some of them was going towards the things that the people needed. Like they would take all the kids within that community or within that building and take them on trips. You know, give these young ones something to look forward to. When it wasn't trips being done, they was having specific events like Halloween events. You know, they would have tutoring, so on and so forth. That's what's needed more than anything. You know, more tutoring, more opportunity, and more range of space for the people to grow. Now, going back to what I was talking about the other day about some of these votes that some of these buildings had to go through, right? The votes was clear as day. It was either one of the votes was going to be you was getting moved out of your apartment and out of the projects. One of them was the trust, which was basically we are going to tap into the money that we know that they have so they could take that money and basically refix and refurnish a lot of the apartments that got messed up or damaged or that have already been on a decline. But then in the same token, you're moving those people out. That's what they ain't tell you. That if you pick this one, prime example, which is the trust, you might not be liable to stay in your apartment. Or you might not be liable if you get moved out of your apartment to come back to that apartment. So that's a risk right there. Now, one of the officials tried to say, oh, that that's not the case, and we are sure that that's not going to happen. BS, because it just happened to three people I know now that did that vote. Now, they just got booted out their apartment, not saying kicked out, but it ain't a guarantee they're going to be able to move back into that apartment after they fix what they fix. Shay, baby. Y'all already know if y'all just tuned in at the like button. But this is what I'm saying. You got to be, you got to be wise and aware of what's going on. Now, for some who might have to deal with those votes, I think they still doing votes until sometime this probably tomorrow. But a lot of the buildings were, that did pick trust. Right now, y'all somewhat lucky only because again, it's gonna take 5 years for everything to process the way it's supposed to process. So for right now, you still have opportunity, but then again, your opportunity might get squandered at some point. Because once that 5 years is up, now they either gonna start telling people or trying to buy people out their apartments. Brooklyn Hood, what's going on? Tanya, what's going on, baby? So for those who did pick trust, I feel you made a mistake because you can't trust nothing right now. Because even if they move you out your apartment, prime example, if your apartments are one of the apartments that are, you know, definitely due and overdue for, renovations and stuff, you're not going to be able to stay in an apartment while they doing whatever. Now, if you had picked remain in section 9, which I don't know why they said that, that's basically you good. You'll still be able to remain in your apartment even while fixtures, whether they major or not, are being done. Now, with that trust one, again, that's not nothing to be trusted because it's only focusing on the money. And guess what? They're going to probably use some of that money to try to buy you out your apartments. Trust me. Because of all the scandals that have happened, especially with higher ups in that position, guess what? The people are still taking a blowback from everything. Now, I feel bad for those, again, who took trust because, yeah, despite that, you might have that little 5 years span of breathing room. What's going to happen when everything does fall in motion? And now you're one of the people who got to get up, pack up, and leave. And again, you're not guaranteed to even come back to that apartment even after everything is said and done. So again, when you are making these votes, because I believe some of these complexes, they still have until a certain deadline. Make sure y'all choosing the right one, which is remaining in your housing area. Not unless you really plan on getting moved out of your apartment and getting moved out the hood. You know, and I feel bad for a lot of the people in my building to a degree because a lot of them pick trust over the remaining section 9. So a lot of these people, especially these old folks, they might be getting moved up out of it. And imagine where they gonna be going if they don't really got nothing planned or set for them. Telling you now for those in the city and all 5 boroughs, yeah, because all 5 boroughs went through this form of voting. I don't believe all the complexes did, but the majority of them did. Even down in Staten Island, they had certain areas where they was doing the same thing, voting to see what was what. But see, it shouldn't take a vote. It shouldn't take eons of yelling, complaining, and screaming for things to finally get done. This is what they failed to realize about the hard workers who live in the city. You gotta get up, bust your ass every day to make a dollar. And then you making that same money just to try to keep a roof over your head, but you're not taking into consideration. Granted that the living cost always goes up so often in the city. I grant all of that. But when it comes to certain things, the rent should be one of them that should not be well high priced and well above somebody's means. Like you have people who probably have mixed incomes, right? Or how they say it, they have certain incomes that, hey, this is what they're going to be getting, fixed incomes. So you're not going to be getting a full portion of what you think you should be getting. Like prime example for those who are living month to month off Social Security, disability, and stuff, you can only charge them for how much they really get to a degree. And think about it: if I'm getting a check once a month, half of that check is probably going towards rent as you speak. So where's the rest of the money coming from? Unless you have people that's living within your apartment that's working or something like that. They don't think about things like that. Just like they need to start bringing back certain social workers and care workers for the elderly who do live in the projects. Because there's elderly people who refuse to move. They done made themselves established and they done kept themselves where they need to keep themselves. They don't feel like moving. And they probably don't have the resources to move, or they don't have the right people around them to help them move. So you're not thinking about that. Some of these elderly folks are not computer savvy. So prime example, they want you to try to pay your rent online because at some point they still talking about trying to close all of these quote unquote check cashing places throughout all five boroughs or throughout the United States. Again, that would be the worst thing you could do is trying to close up a lot of these check cashing places because let's be real, a lot of the older folks are coming still to the check cashing places. Even if they do have debit cards with their money on it, they still got to come use the ATM, or sometimes they probably have to use the clerk counter to get their full money. So again, why would you want to close something that people have been used to using forever? You know, it's almost like you're trying to cripple the economy to a degree, and you taking a risk because think about it: all these people who got names and information within these systems, especially within these check cashing places, is basically almost up for grabs. Basically, if you want to be technical, Commander baby, moo moo. You know, that's why I said I feel bad for those who chose trust more than anything because guess what? You're not going to be guaranteed a solidified spot within your own apartment. Something to think about for those in the city. Now, hopefully, those who don't live in the city don't have to ever go through what some of these people are going through within the five boroughs. There's going to be a lot of uneasy people because they don't know if they still going to be able to remain in their apartments or if they're going to have to get up and move. And 9 out of 10, even if they place you somewhere, it'll be a hotel until whenever. Who wants to go through all of that when some of these hotels have already been overcrowded because of the migrants and everything else? So, you know, that's an issue right there. Frankie, what's going on, my guy? You know, and that's the problem. You know, a lot of people was just so focused on the trust part of that voting. Now, most of y'all chose it. So now most of y'all got to lie with that decision. You know, and honestly, I felt that's the wrong decision to try to put somebody in anyway. But let's look at the course of everything that happened over the course of time, right? Look how many apartment complexes, as far as the apartments themselves, the apartments, some of them apartments are in shambles. Like they not livable for somebody. They not. Like there should be no reason why you have your apartment with a big hole in the wall. You might have asbestos issues, or you got a problem where your ceiling might be collapsing in. Now there was some stories that hit the news that you know when you went into these people's apartments, it's like, how the hell did y'all manage to live like this for so long? You know, and don't think the people wasn't complaining or nothing. Nah, they did everything they were supposed to do, going by the book. You know, even down to calling who they were supposed to call, whether it was Better Business Bureau or whoever, right? But them people got overlooked, you know, and they got pushed to the back of the line. So now look what's going on there. You know, now that a lot of these apartments are almost to the damn ground. Um, Now they trying to do everything for the people, which is again is crazy because this should have been done eons ago. But this just goes to show you when it comes to some of these high ups in these positions, they are more focused with lining their own pockets than worrying about the people who work hard. Jug, what's going on, my guy? Been a minute, man. Hope all well with you, man. I already know, son. Trust me, I know. When I had got a notification the other day, I was like, "Who the hell is Jug talking?" And I looked. I said, "Oh, that's my dude. Speak. What's going on, my guy?" But look at it though. I mean, let's really look at it from this perspective. Look how many people who were living in these downright disgusting areas. Look how long they had to deal with stuff before stuff finally got done. And it's crazy. Again, nobody should ever have to live like they a caged animal or live like they are out in the junkyard. Which is the sad part again, because look how so many people done had issues. There was one story where the lady wall was basically about to cave in. She got kids. Two of them had bad asthma problems. So just imagine you got a big ass hole in your wall, right? You got roaches and rodents coming all through your house to the point where your child could get sick. Together, baby. Just imagine that part. You know, Imagine how you would feel as a parent, especially a concerned parent. You know, you got to possibly worry about your child having or suffering asthma attacks or even worse because everything in your apartment is damaged, dilapidated, things that should have been fixed. You're not trying to fix. Yeah, Tanya, trust me. If I was to find these clips and put them up here, I'd be like, nah. You trust me. You would all say, nah, there ain't no way I'm living like that. And I can't say that these people wanted to live like that because they didn't. But it's sad because like you gotta reach the news for certain things to get done when it shouldn't be that way. I mean, especially you higher ups ain't thinking about again the people who work hard to keep their apartments. You want people to pay high price rent for apartments, and some of these apartments ain't even up to code. Let's keep it real. Dee baby. You want to try to skyrocket the rent. But here it is. There's things that need to be done, not just within your apartment, but within your building. And those shits is not getting taken care of. Like, how do you expect somebody, prime example, again, to pay high prices when you can't even keep a decent elevator working? Now, some of the buildings in the boroughs, yes. Some of y'all are getting building renovations slowly but surely. Some of y'all getting new and improved elevators, which a lot of the projects should have got since Hurricane Sandy. Not gonna lie to you. Since Hurricane Sandy, there was a lot of things that was supposed to be done within the 5 boroughs, especially the 2 boroughs in particular that got hit the hardest, which was Brooklyn and Queens. And now shit is just now starting to get done. And what was this, 2012? We're in 2024 now, so 12 exact years is taking a lot of things to get done, which is crazy. Things that should have been on the priority list, y'all didn't think about it, you know? And again, who suffers the most? The people. The people who actually paying the rent. And I've always felt like this. If there are things that need to be done and you're not going to take care of them, then guess what? They should shave the rent down. But see, they hate to hear that part. Prime example, there's some people right now that are doing the necessary steps themselves. They ain't waiting around for no officials to come and try to make things work. Like prime example, I knew one person who fixed their mailbox by themselves. Keep in mind, they done put in a ticket well over a month or two. Nobody came to see what was going on, even after he went to go to the renting office and see what was what. You make that make sense. How it take almost 2 months for a mailbox to get fixed. But then again, the person that fixed the mailbox is somebody that's not even authorized to fix that. So, you wanted to catch an attitude with that person because they was able to fix the cylinder on their mailbox and everything else. Yeah, you was mad because now they had to come to you and they had to come to you and get reimbursed. Now they hate to reimburse people. BMF, what's going on? They hate to reimburse people when they done did something on their own. But guess what? If you wouldn't have been taking so damn long for the people who are actually paying high price rent, wouldn't be a problem. Prime example, if you put in a specific ticket, it shouldn't take more than a month or 2 months. Prime example, there are people right now who are waiting on long overdue for paint jobs and stuff like that, right? How long you think it's going to take them people to get all of that in order? I can give you a good guess right now. Anywhere between 2 to 4 months, depending on what needs to be done in your house. Which is sad because I remember at one point, housing used to have a lot of people on staff. So, the tickets wasn't as packed in as it was, So it's like, come on now. Think about it. When you had people who was doing what was needed to be done, everything was getting done within an orderly fashion. But now, if something needs to be done in your apartment, they gotta call an outside contractor to come check and see what's going on. Then it's not like work is gonna be done then. They just coming to assess what needs to be done, and then now you gotta sit back and wait to see when they gonna come back. That shit is crazy. And then now I'll be honest with you, in certain areas, they are understaffed when it comes to people who are supposed to be, maintenance workers. Like housing is understaffed when it comes to maintenance workers for real. They don't have enough people that's going to be able to fill some of these tickets. Like in my area, prime example, for every building, there's probably right now only 2 or maybe 3 at best within each building that's taking care of a lot of backed up tickets and stuff. Well over 2 months before something gets done. That's madness right there. And that's what I'm saying. They are short staffed when it comes to the actual maintenance workers who fix and deal with everything in the apartments. So again, think about it. You only got but so many maintenance workers throughout all of these buildings out here. So just imagine you were supposed to have a ticket taken care of within that day, and then you don't get that ticket taken care of until 2, 3 days later. Appreciate you for dropping those links, serious baby. Working harder than this damn weed in my damn system, baby. Somebody smoking some damn hot fire. My bad, y'all. I'm at work locking up as always. Somebody definitely got the air smelling like bubble gum, yum yum. Nah, but you gotta think about that. That's unfair, especially for the elderly folks who do live in these complexes. Because think about it. You know, you gotta go off of the income. So if they ain't getting that much of an income a month, why wouldn't you say, what? Since I know you a senior citizen, and that's the only thing. They'll tell you if you're a senior citizen, yeah, they supposed to keep your rent, whatever. Yeah. But that's not always the case. There's people right. It's a problem. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? My bad. That's what I'm saying though. They're not looking at it from that standpoint. Look at how some of these folks have been placed in these positions. What is their strong suits? What's going to be their best options? And their best options really should be that. If I'm paying this high price of rent, I should be able to at least have, you know, workable elevators. I shouldn't have to come in, or nobody should have to worry about coming in and having to worry about climbing upstairs. Like, prime example, there was an issue in my building the other day. We had to get on their neck because how do you expect people to come to and from when you got both elevators out of commission, and then the third elevator is not even completed? That's why I said there are going to be some people who are going through it because they finally started to do what they need to do for the housing community. Now, again, in some of these places, they should have been thought about replacing elevators. Like in certain spots in Brooklyn and Queens where Sandy hit hard, a lot of those people were supposed to get fixtures and upgrades after that. But what they chose to spend their money on, putting money on something that's quote unquote a landmark, which wasn't even needed. And all right, you decided to raise the telephone wires and things a little bit higher in the event of a flood. But that's it. Now, you have money that was coming from FEMA and everything else. Now, with FEMA, yeah, if you was in them areas where you had a little house, or if you was on a lower floor and your shit got damaged, yeah, they was helping you out as well, too. But you got to think about it. It's been over 12 years since Hurricane Sandy hit. And again, some of these people have never recovered, especially those in Jersey. There's certain ones who had to literally just leave things as it is because can't salvage nothing. So again, you gotta really think about that and put that into perspective. It's sad when you had things that should have been done since that last major storm, and now it's taking a scam and something else along those lines for things to get done there. It's crazy. It really is, because when it's all said and done, look at the people who suffer. You know, look at the people who still suffering now. They don't want to say that, but guess what? Ain't everything gonna be peaches and cream when it comes to trying to fight for something that is worth fighting for. Your apartment should be worth fighting for, especially if you are staying there. Now, there's some people who really don't care because at some point they either got them a better opportunity, a better space, and they just waiting for whatever. Cage, what's going on? But you got to think about that too. Look at the people again who are not fortunate enough to really move. Like, you're putting them in a dangerous position because now if you want to buy them out their apartment, you're not even trying to pay them what they really should be getting paid. That's why I said, for those who did choose trust, best believe a lot of y'all are going to have problems. You're not going to be able to stay in your apartments. Even if there's nothing major that needs to be fixed, you're still not going to be able to stay in there. 9 out of 10, they're going to try to buy you out the projects. But then they're going to buy you out with little pennies. Like, how do you want people to move out of their place of residence and you're not giving them what you're supposed to give them? Because guess what? $2,000 ain't shit. Excuse my language, but it's not. $2,000 is not nothing, especially you got to think about the cost of moving, the cost of trying to get another spot, so on and so forth. What you giving somebody or trying to give somebody to move out their apartment, that's basically how much they paying in rent. So make that make sense. This is why I said, when it comes to anything that's going on within the complexes you live in, I don't care if it ain't in New York City. Make sure that y'all fighting for the right things. Tenants do have rights. And a lot of you tenants just don't read up on it. But trust me, there's a booklet for y'all. Sit there and read it. You'll know your rights. You'll know what's right and what's illegal. And when it's illegal, you take that to the better bureau like you're supposed to. Think about it. You got tickets that were supposed to be taken care of in some of these apartments, And some of them tickets date back past a year. So that goes to show you that they are understaffed all around the board. In certain positions, as far as these city jobs is concerned, yes, they are understaffed. Same thing with people that work for transit, whether they driving the buses or the trains, they short staffed. Same thing with NYPD cops, they are short staffed. What does that tell you about the great city of New York right now? We're in a decline right now. And people hate to hear that, but it's the truth. There's a reason why there's so many crimes rising up. And it's not just because of the migrant problem. The problem is they don't have enough staff to try to do what's necessary. So when you only got a handful of cops in certain areas, prime example, they only gonna be able to deal with but so much. And then now if they have to go towards a crime or something, basically when he was, guarding and protecting that, it might be a problem when it comes to anything else. While they decide to go take care of a call, it could be another call happening right within the same vicinity. So again, a short staff. It's not cool. And I would say there's a lot of reasons why some of them are leaving, leaving the force. Some of them are leaving the force because they already see what it is. Some of them left because they felt they wasn't getting paid enough. But honestly, I feel when you are doing a job like that, yeah, you should get more than what you get in a year. Salary wise, yeah, because I got to get out every day, walk this beat, and make sure that my community or the community that I'm protecting is being protected. Ain't no days off. There's some of them working 18-hour shifts, 19-hour shifts. When the incident happened on my job the other week, one of the cops said he was literally on for almost 24 hours. So what does that tell you? That they short-staffed. A lot of these people who was working crazy hours, or that was getting the leeway with the hours, now they got to work crazy hours now. Just imagine you a damn cop on the beat and you got to work 20 hours. You going to go through a lot that day. And again, think about it. When you have the quote-unquote peace and protection that's understaffed, that's a problem. When you gotta bring in National Guards for certain reasons, that's a problem. That goes to show you that they are understaffed to the T. Riders, baby. EPB, baby. See y'all up in here, son. But that's sad though, for real. It really is, because in the long run, it's like, well, damn. So now you got to worry about crime not just rising up to its highest point. You got to possibly worry about walking around with some form of protection, because it is getting a little dangerous out here. For those in the city right now, prime example, there's some of you who probably already had issues or altercations amongst the migrants that been here. Because some of the migrants are making it clear they here to rob, steal, and pillage and do whatever they are going to try to do. It's crazy. So, you already have to worry about specific crimes within the city, within the people who already lived here. But now you got to worry about crimes being done with people that don't live here. Make that make sense. You got to make it make sense. At what point do the people actually stand up? Again, we getting help with nothing but distractions. But there are a lot of things that we shouldn't be distracted on. We shouldn't be distracted when it comes to how we keep our people safe, how we keep our communities safe. In certain instances, some of the communities are not safe since the migrants have been here. Because again, some of the attacks have been coming from them in general. I told y'all the other day, my aunt was on a train with my little cousins, and she almost had an issue with one of the migrant dudes himself. Why? Because one of them was staring and looking too hard at my little cousins. And luckily, there was a dude on the train that he stepped in when he had to step in, because who knows what that dude would have did. And some of these people who are out here, they suffer mental health crisis just like the regular people here. So again, that's a problem right there. You know, again, you're not giving all in all safety to the people that live in your city. You know, and some people are not looking to be saved by Superman or anything. No, we just want to be able to make sure we can bring our kids outside or bring our peoples outside and not have to worry about certain crimes. We want to be able to travel on the trains and the buses without the same issues happening again. You know, and that's the crazy part about it, though. You know, I feel like when it comes to certain politics and certain situations, we really need to start fighting more, standing up more. Again, stop letting personal issues and personal beefs stop y'all from being a great community. Like I said, I don't have to like you. I don't have to be up in arms with you. But if we both got the same notion or the same goal, which is to try to bring some form of safety back, then why not do so? I'm sorry because like I said, there are places even outside the city who are going through almost the same type of crap and madness now. You know, and right now as we speak, how's it going to look towards the school year now, especially for those in the city? For those in the city, yeah, within the next what 2 weeks or so, kids will be going back to school. I know for those outside the city, I don't know already started back school within early this month, or you starting next week sometime. It doesn't matter where you at. If you're somewhere where there's a migrant problem, please be aware of your surroundings and just please make sure you keeping yourself and your family safe. The most I can tell you right now. Denise, baby, y'all already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, you know, during the peak of the school year, a lot of you parents, please be aware. Now, there was certain areas where they was trying to confiscate basically the school and let that be a housing place for all the migrants. But then when the people in the community stood up and said that this wasn't going to happen and this wasn't going to work, guess what happened? They didn't do it no more. They didn't think to use the schools no more. Then they just said, you know what, since there's a lot of hotels, we're going to take some of these hotels and use them straight for the migrants. But you forgot, there's people who are in them hotels for a reason. Some of those people are in hotels because they either trying to get their next place to stay or they might be there temporarily because they got moved out of their apartments for whatever reason. But then you're pushing them the hell out to bring more people in, and then these people are even worse than the people that are here. The last couple of stories you heard about situations happening in these shelters and these hotels, it been migrant. It been migrant. It been more of that than anything else. And you gotta look too. They feeling out of comfort and displaced because look where they at right now. Some of them are here thinking or here under false pretenses thinking that they're going to come in here and automatically gain and reap the benefits like some people do, but they not. They not. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. There might be some who go through that loophole and might actually gain what they need, but others ain't gonna be so lucky. The ones that are not lucky are the ones that we see committing the crimes, doing the vandalisms, and just, you know, doing all the random attacks. But then think about it. They done been into so much mess so far, and the majority of them ain't getting deported back to their homeland. A lot of them are just getting a slap on the wrist. It's like you're getting arrested, you're going through the process, and then they done kicked you out already. They done booted you out back on the streets. Compared to if it was one of us homelanders, we'd have been sitting through the bookends, sitting on the island, doing a whole bunch of whatever, right? We'd had to go through hell before we got home. These niggas is getting arrested, and then within 24 hours, they back home or they back out on the streets. Make that make sense. That's why I said when it comes to specific politics, some of y'all are going to have to get involved, whether you really want to or not. You're going to have to. because again, that's going to be for the benefit of you. That's going to be for the safety and the measurements of you. Like again, you want your community safe, you're gonna have to start standing and forming together. See, prime example. There are certain communities that do have what you would call a neighborhood watch, right? Other neighborhoods, they don't have a neighborhood watch. They have people within the neighborhood watching out for the things they need to watch out for, and also, take care of when it's time to take care of it. Again, some of y'all might have heard of the guardian angels and a um, few of these other little neighborhood watch. But you gotta think about it. They can only do but so much. Like those people, yeah, they walk around from one end of the hood to the other, which is a long stretch. So they're walking from basically one area to the neighboring area. Because again, when they come in force and they come in numbers, a lot of times people get deterred on doing things. Now again, they can't be confrontational sometimes because you're gonna have ignorance. But the main thing is not to let the ignorance plague anything. And I feel this is a problem. When it comes to what we really need to stand on, we don't stand on it as tough as we should. Like if we're gonna allow people within our communities to come build and grow, there still needs to be boundaries and set foundations. Because again, like I said, we are the ones that are allowing you to come in and build. You know, got to start being more wise and start being more open to different options. You know, we got to start building our own options to a degree too. We got to start building and bringing what's necessary within our own community so we can strive. Because apparently, some of the situations we see now, we're trying to do it the right way and go through government help and assistance. It's not working. It really ain't working. Now, again, unless the people really stand up and fight and really voice their opinions to be heard, trust me, they ain't gonna get heard for nothing. They just gonna think, well, they don't care, so why should I? The first thing they gonna think is, well, they don't care, why should I? Which is a sad way to think about it, though, because again, when it's all said and done, you know, you live within these communities, you thrive within these communities. So why not try to do what's best? You know, like I said, for some of y'all that know you trying to do great works, especially when it comes to children, hey, group up. Nah, they still ain't find that. Since yesterday. Hold on, give me 1 second. I don't know, son, because I know. I don't good, but I'm just saying, like, nah, I'm just. Holler at me. I'm make sure the balls are crossing. Yeah, nah, you good. Like I said, yeah, right, don't break your neck for nothing, bro, because that's on them. They gotta stop having access to everything. That's why. Yeah, I know, but they be taking forever to lock shit up. My bad, y'all. But yeah, you gotta take that into real careful consideration. Um, your best options in life, especially while you living within your community, is trying to preserve as much as you can preserve. You know, it might not be an easy task, but it shouldn't be a overdrawn one either. You know, think about what's important because when we well long and gone, guess who's still going to be here? The younger generation who's coming in. The younger generation who are trying to see exactly what needs to be done. We could give them just that. Give them hope and give them inspiration to keep fighting and keep going with what needs to be going for the community. Like again, there are a lot of people who are being active and proactive when it comes to trying to bring programs back for them kids that need it. Bring back these reading programs. Again, bring back ESL for people who have a hard time understanding or comprehending certain things. For those who really are suffering from problems and they can't get into a rehab. Bring some form of rehab center or bring some form of whatever for those people who need it. Again, that was the most important thing when it came down to community and community trust. We was trusted enough to make sure we trusted the right people to bring the right type of changes. It's like we stopped that. To some degree, we would rather have somebody who's a notable name than to have a nobody within that realm. But guess what? That nobody probably got more vision and more focal points than the notable name. Some of these notable names, they only gonna follow the script they follow. So if it's not beneficial for them or anybody else that's in their position, they don't care about the people that's up under them. I mean, let's keep it real. They don't. They hate to tell you that, but it's the truth. They don't care about nothing outside of when they getting their money for rent, or they don't care about anything else. Well, if they don't got this, oh well. Nah, it shouldn't be that way. That's why I said when it comes down to certain politics, as much as people hate to be involved in it, might as well. Yeah, I already did that one. But this is what I'm saying. You have to start, you know, got to start raising the bar more. Again, we got to be focused. Eve, what's going on, baby? And that's why I said it was messed up again, because think about it. For all of those people, prime example, who chose to trust, and I'm going back to that again. For those who chose trust for those votes for the housing, y'all got 5 years to figure out what you're going to figure out, because after that 5 years, trust me, they are going to try to buy you out your apartment. They are going to try to get you up out of there. And this is another reason why I was saying to a degree about people living in the projects, right? You don't have to live like your feral animals. Like I said, some of y'all wonder why they are trying to get rid of us and get rid of us at a high capacity. It's because they look at it like this. If y'all want to live like animals, fine, live like animals. But you won't be living in these apartments doing the unnecessary. Think about the people who did get moved out their apartments because they probably done violated the termination, or they done violated their leases and stuff like that. Some of these people done left their house completely looking like a junkyard. So now that's extra time to try to renovate and do whatever for these apartments, especially if you're trying to give the apartments to other people. But again, some of these people who got kicked out, and they got kicked out because they had to learn the hard way. You're not going to continue to keep doing things that you know is a danger to yourself and the people within that realm and that complex, and there's not going to be a consequence. There was one dude I know right now about to get evicted. Why? Because again, you wasn't taking care of what you were supposed to take care of. You were allowing your kids to throw things out the windows at officials and everything else, even down to glass bottles and stuff. Again, you have a damn compactor in your building. Use it. If you don't have a garbage can, use some garbage bags. That's another reason why they trying to kick people out left and right. Because some of y'all are really living like you live in a junkyard. Sorry to say it that way. The reason why they trying to kick a lot of y'all is because y'all don't care about the damn communities you live in. You don't care. Because if you did, you would be trying to take care of it better. Like I told somebody the other day, you can't complain about the area smelling like piss when you're taking a piss in the same area you're standing in and chilling at. So make it make sense. You got to pick a poison right now. If you ain't picking it, guess what? They're going to pick it for you. You know what I'm saying? There's ways to go about different things. Again, you are supposed to have pride and love within the community that you live in. Just because things might not be where you think they should be at, that don't mean it ain't going to get there. But it'll never get there if the people just quit. But again, for some who think they're going to start making moves and transitions, then start making them. But for those who are going to be a fixture in the community, guess what? You got to make sure that your peoples are on deck and on point with what's going on. So, prime example, if y'all fighting to get different programs in your community, keep the fight going. You know, see if you can add anybody else to the fold who wants to be part of that damn notion. You know, it really is a community effort. And I keep saying that because it's the truth. It's a community effort if you want change and progress. You know, you got to think about the main picture at hand. It shouldn't just be about your own personal wants and needs because look what's going on now. Look at these higher ups that done messed up the people basically, thinking about their own pockets. Like I said, you're in a position where you could be basically helping those within your community, but you're focusing on lining your own pockets, decking out your own cribs. And like I said, I don't know what's worse right now, a pastor, a pastor's position, or a higher position in any of these damn city jobs, even state jobs. I'm sorry because they'll do everything in their power to get these donations, you know, and get everything in particular. But then guess what? They not going to the things they supposed to go to. They're not. How could you have a fundraiser, right? You're supposed to be raising money for a specific goal. You get that money, but then you don't do what you're supposed to do. Come on, that's false advertising. Christy, baby, that's false advertisement. And that's the worst way to think about it. It is false advertisement because I'm supposed to be feeding y'all something, right? But I'm not feeding it to you. You know, and that's the sad part about it. You know, look at the main ones who are going to suffer from this impact. Like I said before, for those who chose trust for that for New York City housing, y'all only got about 5 years before everything gets processed. And then after that, you might have an additional year depending. But once everything is where it need to be, oh, trust me, they are going to start moving a lot of y'all out your buildings. And you ain't going to have no choice. But I've always felt like this. You should always have a choice, especially in the community that you born and raised in. And if you're going to continue to remain in that community, then guess what? Some of y'all need to be a fixture. If y'all know y'all got ties to different things, even on the political level, why not, utilize it? There are some people who are doing that. Some people are going to these community meetings. They are, you know, being a fixture how they supposed to be. But this is the problem. Again, we've gotten to a point of comfortability where we don't care, but we should care, honestly. Because again, guess who's going to be inhabiting and be taking over when we're long gone? The ones who are coming behind us. But it is true though. When we start getting back to that notion of fighting in unity and not being only unified just to be on some negative shit, if we unify on the things that we need on the positive level, we could get a lot of things done. People fail to realize that they don't want to believe it, but it's true. If you don't voice your opinion, if you don't really get out there and make something happen, ain't nothing going to change. So I was trying to inform people, look, much as y'all don't like these town hall meetings and shit, go to them shits. Go see what the conversation is about. Because again, it is impacting your community. The reason why some of these communities, prime example, are getting impacted because it's not enough people there. You know, like there's no way you go to a town hall meeting and at best there's maybe 30 people at best in there. Big ass hole and all. And meanwhile, you might have 30 people at best. 10 of them probably might be kids with their grandparents or with their parents. It's not enough numbers. It's not enough say so. So if only 30 people are there and it's supposed to be more than 30, guess what? They ain't gonna listen to any of those 30 people that was there. They not. You know? So I gotta remember that part. You know, how your community is impacted is solely up to you, the people within the community. Like if I knew I had the resources to do some of the things I really wanted to do, oh trust me. In my community, shit, it would definitely be something for these kids to do all year round. And I mean all year, every year. There is no days off. And that's what we need to start getting back to that basis of no days off when it comes to trying to rebuild and impact our communities the way we supposed to. Give me 1 second, y'all. It is solely up to all of y'all. It really is solely up to all of y'all to start making more advancements. If you want better, start being better. Start acting better. You know, give people what they need, opportunity and space to grow. You know, when it's all said and done, let's do this thing right. I've honestly felt this way. We want better, we got to start doing better. We're going to really have to do better. Because what's more important, our own personal needs and goals, or the goals and needs of the people around us? Like I said, there's certain people that if they had the mindset and had the resources to do it, oh, trust me, they would be as resourceful as possible. Some people would say, well, we need more resources. Okay, well, until you get those resources, you still got to be resourceful, which means you still have to take what you have and try to make the best of it or try to tweak it a little bit, you know? And this is what I was saying. Look at some of the things that are happening, and not just within the city, because some of these things are going to affect the people worldwide. Like what I was saying about the check cashing places. If they have their way with it, just imagine all the check cashing places around the United States is going to be gone. So imagine if it's something that you have to do at a check cashing place that you can't take care of at a bank or anywhere else. You're leaving people in the impasse right now, whether you believe it or not. That's why I said we focus on all the wrong distractions. And the distractions, they ain't helping. Because while we being distracted, we are also being taken advantage of. We're being used. What better way to keep the people from coming into unity and coming into numbers? What better way to do so than to put distractions within our reach? We got to know what's a distraction and what's actual problems that need to be solved. Our communities, we gonna always have certain issues, you know, because there's just some things in life you're not gonna be able to stop. As long as you have, as long as you have ignorance, or as long as you have sheer sheer selfishness, you're always gonna have some form of crime. Yeah, Christy. Well, they was talking about trying to close a lot of them. Just like at one point they was trying to say something about eliminating uh or not having mail. Oh no, my fault. They was talking about in certain situations they might start delivering mail on Sunday, which would be weird in certain cases. But if that happens, that's something good. Because now at least if you know you waiting for something, shoot, it ain't gonna say, well, it's gonna take more than this amount of days. Nope, it should be in here by this day, especially on a Sunday. At one point, they were talking about eliminating that, eliminating postal service. Now, imagine how that would look. How you gonna get your damn mail? That would mean you would have to open up a PO box 9 out of 10. Or again, how is that going to work when half of these people who don't got an actual mailbox got a PO box? That's what I'm saying. The things that we really should be paying attention to, let's pay attention to it. Because all these distractions, all this celebrity shit, that means nothing. Them celebrities is fucking comfortable right now. They ain't got to worry about half of the shit the regular low income people or mid income people got to worry about. A lot of them are living better than what we're living. And I know for some people it's, oh, well, we should be able to do this and we should be able to. You're right. You should be able to. But the truth of the matter is, not everybody is going to be able to. And the ones that are going to be stuck, basically, they should have rights and amenities to the things they need. That's what I'm saying. We got to stop focusing on all the wrong distractions and bring back what's necessary. It really is about time. And some people might not want to hear it. Some people might have a problem when there's certain things being said or certain things that are being repeated. But this is the whole purpose of repeating certain things so that people could get the message, so that people could wake up. Like I said, there are going to be some people who don't come because of these conversations. You think I care? No, I don't. It's more about the message more than anything. Juice, baby. Damn, it's like barbecue chicken out here. My bad, y'all. I got distracted again. My Wolverine senses was kicking in. Damn, somebody make us a barbecue chicken, baby. But come on now. Like I was saying yesterday to a degree, whatever you're building platform wise or whatever you're doing in general, some people are going to be for you. They're going to show you that they for you. Others are not going to be for you as much. They'll sit there and fake fake a front like a motherfucker. But guess what? It's up to you to decipher who's really for you and who's against you. Like I said, no matter how you're building in life, whether it's online or offline, you gotta know who's really for you and who's not. The ones that are really down for you will always have your back, and they will always be able to come through in the clutch. You know, I hear you, Christy. But this is what I'm saying. You know, this is why it's important a lot of times for you solid parents out there to again start educating the way you're supposed to educate. I can't be late, guy, when I already had the key, guy. I'm in the middle of the first round too. You late for your DJ skit? See, look. You gonna get? Huh? You going back for round two? Yeah. About to say you late for your DJ gig. I'm out to dock you $12. $12. My bad, y'all. I gotta fuck with the people. But again, it's truthfulness to that. How do you expect things to change when you're not standing up on the level that you're supposed to stand up on? Again, it shouldn't be about personal issues, vendettas, gripes. Fuck all of that. What's more important is trying to bring back some form of peace and unity. Bring back some form of opportunity. You know, and you have people that circle around the issues like that, right? You can't circle around that as much. Because again, there's going to be certain things within that news or certain things within the current events, whether you outside or not. You'll find out certain things. Like again, I found out they trying to build a casino out here in my area. I don't know if that thing went through or not. If it did, it's going to cause some form of problems because again, that's something that we really don't need. That's going to cause crime to go up even more to a degree. You know, think about it. The things your community doesn't need, you should be fighting against it. Like, look, when the people came together, prime example, to make sure those migrants wasn't taking over the school as far as housing and stuff is concerned, look, got the results you were supposed to get. So why that can't be like that more often? Same thing with those people who raised up and did what they were supposed to do to get their school districts the things that they need. They stood up. They didn't fold. They came with numbers, and even when they was outnumbered, they still voiced and did what was necessary. We got to have that notion of coming together and building on that note. We can't always just come together to tear somebody down or tear down the communities. That old saying, you never shit where you eat, that's the truth. You can't live within a community and then you robbing people within your community. At some point, you're going to get stopped. Or at some point, you're going to meet your maker. And that's real raps right there. There's no going around that. No going around that at all. You can't continue to be a detriment within your community and then expect your communities to change. No, you got to change the trajectory of everything. And it is solely up to you. Like I said, you want your kids to be better in certain things, show them better. Show them what's good within coming together, unifying for the right things. Show them that, yeah, you will get things done a lot smoother, in some situations quicker, if you all are together on the same notion. And that's the thing. Now, there are going to be certain communities that when it comes to certain situations, oh, yeah, they're going to definitely come together. They're going to come together in arms because it's needed. Others are not going to do that. Some, again, they are too much for self, too much selfishness. And that's the problem. We don't have enough selflessness when it comes to standing on what we got to stand on. You know what? I don't care if you came from this, you know? I don't care if you came from this situation right here. We got a bigger task to focus on, you know? That's where people, again, have gotten things completely messed up, you know? It shouldn't take years, shouldn't take months or years, basically, for certain things that could be done quickly to be done. Spider, what's going on, my guy? You know, again, we got to learn to not just always stay in the struggle. We have to remember that again. We not so much as just frequent the communities that we are around. We are part of those communities. Like I was saying earlier to a degree, when the dude said, "Yo, it's crazy how the block smell like this." Yeah, well, y'all not making it better when y'all refuse to go to your apartments and use the bathroom, or you don't go elsewhere to go use the bathroom, and you decide to use the bathroom in an area that you hang in. And then if you're consistently going, how you expect that to even work? You know, it's things like that they don't think about. You can't be a detriment to your community and then expect your community to still flourish. But again, got to start getting to a point where even the people who are robbing and pillaging the communities, they get out of here. Because how do you expect to keep anything safe when you're allowing the same dangers to keep happening? Like I said, you got people who are doing neighborhood watches. Some people are just getting the right people together within the community to make sure everything is good. And that's supposed to be the most important thing more than anything. You know, unity on all courts. You know, but when you're not doing that, oh, trust me, you're gonna get the worst. You're gonna get the worst results. So I would say in that instance, for some of those communities, start fighting back. Remember, you still have options. You still have a choice. The minute you decide to limit yourself and limit your options, that's when they're gonna limit your options for real. Oh well, they ain't fighting for this. Okay, well then they don't need this. But then when it's all said and done, you're gonna need what it is they trying to take away from you. Like I said, look what's happening now. A lot of the schools they done took away the after school programs and a lot of the different programs that again was helping the kids. Which is sad because when you think about it, who suffers the most? Who the hell had it? Somebody cup was leaking and near the socket. My bad, y'all. All these people be doing the utmost in here. But don't think about it. Them kids is going to suffer because now, if there's programs that they are not going to be able to utilize in school, who's going to teach them? You know, that's what people fail to realize. You know, we can't continue to sit back and allow certain things to happen the way they happen. You know, get up on the fighting field and on the battlefield when you're supposed to. And if you can't put your boots on the ground the way you want to, you can still be a part of that fight. There's different ways for people to be a part of something great, even if they're not putting the footwork in to a degree, or if they can't put the footwork in. You know, trust me, there's some elderly folks right now that would want to get up and be a part of some of these fights and discussions. But the truth of the matter is, they can only do but so much when they limited. So, but we still should have something for them to do as well, especially if they do want to help. So again, we have to remember that. Just because certain things are going sour, that doesn't mean the fight is over. If anything, the fight is intensifying now because you got to do better. You know, and at some point, some of the programs that they are eliminating, they are going to be a detriment. Like again, your child might need extra help when it comes to, you know, arithmetic and anything else. Who won't teach them that? Who won't give them that notion to learn? Something to think about for the night, though. For those in the city, again, if you have voted, because I know some of y'all have to go through that. If you voted the trust for your buildings, believe that within the next 5 to 6 years, you won't probably be in your apartments. So if you still think you have time to fix that vote, go fix it. If not, you know, you better start preparing for what you need to prepare for. Because before you blink your eyes, another 5 years done passed, and now it's time to start doing what's necessary. Because their main focus, if anybody that took that vote, is trying to move people out their apartments and move them out the projects. It's not going to work like that. And you're going to have some people who are going to refuse to leave anyway, because if you're not giving them top dollar to go and get something that they need, they ain't trying to leave. $2,000 ain't nothing. It would have been something back in the day to a degree. Had the inflation on the economy didn't go up the way it did, like that would have been good for some people. But in this day, $2,000 is chump change to a degree. Again, they only gonna give you solely what you're paying for rent. They ain't gonna give you what you think you deserve, and they ain't gonna put you in a better position. But if you want to be in a better position, y'all need to start fighting and letting your voices be heard. It really is something to think about for the day. Um, I'm gonna revisit this because there's some other stories that's developing, and trust me, I'm gonna get into them. Because just because there's situations that affect in New York right now, that don't mean it's not affecting other places. It might not be as bad, but it's affecting regardless. All of these programs that are needed for these kids to grow and develop, they eliminating them. So what are we going to do as the people within the community? What are we going to do as the proud parents, grandparents, guardians, so on and so forth? What are we going to do to maintain stability? What are we going to do to make sure we keeping everything in the right order? Truth, what's going on, baby? Again, you want change, you want results. It solely lies within you. Not gonna lie, you know, we focus on the most important goals, and some of those goals and some of those things can be met. If we got a deadline on certain things, we need to make sure that we not making it just to the deadline. When it's all said and done, we are the ones who are supposed to be responsible for shaping the vision around us. Can't always depend on government help because you see what happens with that. They'll give you the runaround and everything before anything. And again, if you're not letting it be known this is what you need, this is what you require, they ain't gonna listen to it. Or that will be something that's on the back of their mind until further notice. Again, I would advise a lot of you parents who know you have the resources or are resourceful to do certain things, start being more resourceful. Again, there are going to be certain resources we know we lack. And if we know we lack them, or we can try to make them or try to get them going, then let's get them going. Certain situations, we ain't going to be able to depend on them. We got to depend on ourselves. And that should be the goal more than anything. Trying to continuously build around and in the communities that you live in. Again, there's going to be people who are going to be blessed to get, some form of opportunity where they can leave and move on up, basically. Some people are not going to be as lucky. The ones that's not as lucky, those are going to be the ones that should be focused and determined on keeping certain things in order. Like I said, keep certain things out of your community. People who are damaging and pillaging your community, they need to be the first ones to get up out of here because they serve no purpose outside of serving themselves. The purpose of the goal for anybody within these communities is, again, having strength and unity, but also making sure that no matter what happens, you keep the fight going. Something to think about for the night, y'all. But hopefully, a lot of people did get something out of this message today. Because again, what's going to be better? Our own personal needs and wants, or the needs of the people within the community? So let's think about that. You know, let's start shaping and start gearing for something better. And let's not let all the distractions, put one over on us. You can't turn our eyes to certain things. You can't turn them on blind eyes. That's why we have a lot of blind spots in our community. We refuse to do what's necessary and we refuse to fight. Once we start getting back to that notion of fighting, we get back to that notion of strength and numbers. Oh, trust me, it'll start looking a little better. Again, there's some things you're never going to be able to fully eliminate because it's just a part of life. But for everything else that's not a part of it, we need to start getting rid of it. Before I do get up out of here, I do appreciate everybody that tuned in for the conversation tonight. Apologies, I was trying to do it during the day, but your boy been busy trying to get things in order my damn self. So, um, for those following me on Clapper, I will be in the building tomorrow, definitely, and I will be in the building tomorrow at 6 o'clock, rain or shine. So, hopefully, I got your best suits on. You know how we gonna do things over there. And if you're not following me on that platform, please make sure you're doing so. Trust me, the conversation never just stops in one place. You know, and I see these conversations are gonna go further and further, even off of these platforms. See, again, this ain't the begin all and end all. You know, when the message is bigger than anything, it'll be bigger on the other platforms. And that's what we're gonna keep doing, bringing what's necessary, whether the people like it or not. But yeah, for those celebrating birthdays, I didn't forget about y'all. I didn't forget about y'all. Hold on. My phone tweaking a little bit. My phone really tweaking a little bit. Hold on one second. My phone's tweaking a little bit. For those celebrating birthdays, especially going into the weekend, don't forget about you. Hopefully, y'all will enjoy yourselves, stay blessed and stay safe, and just continue to enjoy the blessings of life. Oh, and I ain't forget about y'all. It is Friday Eve. My bad, my bad. It is Friday Eve. My bad. Don't give in. Trust me, girl, take all you see. So let me in. Don't give in. Trust me, girl, take all you see. So let me in. Don't give in. Trust me, girl, take all you see. So let me in. Don't give in. We ain't forget about y'all, and happy Friday to everybody that is on the East Coast, man. You know, great conversation as always. I appreciate everybody that's been a part of the fold, still becoming part of the fold. And we still got more to look up to. And like I said, there's going to be people who come, there's going to be people who go. To me, it don't matter. It's more about who stays. That's just part of life. You're going to have people come and go, but you're going to have the main ones and the most important ones who stay. And they're more important than the ones who come and go. But yeah, let me get up out of here, though. I'll definitely see y'all tomorrow, most likely early afternoon for the cypher. And again, for those following me on Clapper, I'll see y'all at 6. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout outs to the replay gang. Shout outs to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. Everybody that was in attendance tonight, y'all already know that love is love and then be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I can do is give you real. And that's all I'm going to do is give you real topics and real bills. Oh, wait. It still is Friday, so I got to start the madness already. Wait a minute. The madness has started. You knew that was coming. You knew that was coming. Come on, man. You knew that was going to come for the night. Come on, now. Feel Good Friday in full effect. For those who feel like me right now. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to wait tomorrow. I just ain't trying to go to work. I don't want to wait tomorrow. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to wait tomorrow. Don't encourage the madness. Come on, James. Don't encourage the damn madness series. You know how to dance to the damn madness. Come on now. Come on now. You know I ain't got no damn sense. I ain't got no damn sense. First ever AI Matrix Awards might be coming this winter. Wait
Mom, I just want an Oscar.
Oh man. But again, y'all enjoy y'all evenings. Y'all stay safe. Keep that third eye open. And until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.